Is it literally 5 seconds till 9?
It's now 9.
9 o'clock.
It is now 9 o'clock.
Go.
Well, I guess we're live now
Looks like we're live.
on Hockey
We are
City
live. Wow, we're finally for real live.
Did it.
We're legit.
We'll do it live.
We're legit. All right, well, I guess I should play Barbra Streisand then, right?
Yeah.
I like that. Let's do that. That's a good idea.
All right.
Oh, spam.
It's not working like it's supposed to. Of course not.
Well, you know.
That'd be far too simple for it to just work.
It can't just work. Well, this is awkward.
Well,
Live with David Phillips and Lamar Lester.
Barbra Streisand. Barbra Streisand.
Tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I'm sorry, David.
Tonight, my butcher's name is City. Lee laughs at letters, and I make a discovery.
What do I do again?
You laugh at letters.
I laugh at letters.
Yes.
this is true.
Welcome back.
Wiggity, 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 welcome back. Oh.
Tonight's
good.
program is
Feels good.
the start of something new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hockey
Yes.
City Live 2.0.
2.0.
We're actually live now.
We're actually live. Before, it was Hockey City previously recorded. And now we're actually
We're
live.
now. The 25th technical episode.
Technical. Why not just 25th?
Because, yeah,
because it's a new show. So
it's 2.0. We don't want to have it like second
It's like
season,
if you get
know?
divorced and you get remarried, is it your first anniversary again, or is it the 10th anniversary?
Oh, I never even thought about that.
Like, what is it?
That's good.
Did
That's
I
more
lose all
gifts.
of our equipment in the divorce? Or
Ooh.
because typically
It
what
wasn't a
happens is
nasty
the wife
split.
gets half of it.
It wasn't a nasty split. We
Oh, okay.
agreed to just walk in with what you walk out with what you walked in and what?
With.
The 25th episode.
This raised
the
rusty.
Okay.
Yoni Pitkin and Chris Stewart episode. Yeah, we're bringing that back. It's nice to be back. I just want to reiterate that.
It feels good.
because it's
Like-
February was the last episode.
Something like that.
It was February. I forgot what day, but it was certainly February.
I'm very
and,
excited. Like, all day I've been having little jitters. Like, ooh, we're back.
Actually, we should just get it out of the way now. This show almost didn't happen. We pushed it back to 9 because, well, our studio,
We lost it.
we lost it. So the quest to find our studio again, I guess, begins now. But that said, we've gotten the mushy out of the way.
It's time for the
It's
news.
time for the news. Training camps. Doesn't that feel good to say? Training
Training
camp.
It does, yes.
A full training camp.
September.
A full training
Isn't
camp.
it nice to say training camps in September?
Very nice. Very
No
nice.
lockouts this year. They will be beginning Wednesday for the most part. Now, some teams are going to start a little earlier. Some are going to start a little less. By the 15th, training camps would have been jumped off.
Currently, right now, they're having the rookie camps.
Yeah, and the referees go back tomorrow.
Yeah.
And they could use all the training they can get.
Yes, they
'Cause
can.
Last season,
Rubbish.
in the playoffs,
After
they were-
last season, yes,
Rubbish.
they can.
Rubbish.
A lot of phantom calls
They
where
weren't
you're like,
even
that's
ambitious, though.
5.
They weren't even ambitious.
Not ambitious at all.
They're rubbish.
They're hockey referees. With training camps going in, there's still some highly priced. Well, not now. There are some depth free. I did it again. There are some depth free agents available and don't have teams, so the PTOs are starting to fly out. The LA Kings have invited goaltender Matthew Garon. They got Scrivens for Quicks back up, so it kind of surprised me when I saw that. And that's a paid PTO. He's being paid.
So he's not terrible.
No. But he
I
played
think
with Tampa, and they
yeah. He played 44 games one season, 2011, I think it was.
But who's been their goalie, really?
Wilson.
Exactly. He was only good in the playoffs.
But he had some decent numbers. I think
Bring it back
his
to
overall
Oldie.
is a .903
Really?
save percentage.
Oh,
It's not terrible, but
yeah.
his GAA was like.
It's less than average, but
But his GAA
it's not like it's Fleury's playoff
was
save percentage the last 2
2.83.
years. Huh?
Goals against average was 2.83.
That's the average now.
Goals against average
All
for
right. Oh, it's
Garon.
goals against
His
average.
total in the NHL total, and his total save percentage is .903.
We need to see him better, but for a backup, he's never been a starter. I don't
No.
think so. For a
And
backup,
they have Limbach still.
yeah, and they
But
still have Bishop.
But
Ben Bishop, and
Yeah,
he
but
got 2-year extension
neither
over the
of them
summer
really-
or before the summer.
gave me like
Oh no. And that's what Bishop was supposed to be. They traded Corey Conacher pretty much straight. I mean,
Connor?
they threw in
Corey
a draft
Connor?
pick.
Corey Conacher.
There you go.
But yeah, they threw that in. But we'll see. Remains to be seen.
Yeah,
the team was crap last year anyway, so I guess that's not really a real good indicator.
Also,
They were crap.
the best name in hockey.
What's that?
You love saying it more than I do.
I'm not sure I do. Do I?
Rolson.
Where are we
Guillaume Latendresse.
Oh, yes. Guillaume Latendresse. He has been invited to the desert where it's hot on a PTO. So that's another PTO for you. You got any numbers for us? Or is he just...
he's kind of injury prone.
Yeah,
guy.
that's why.
The last 2 seasons, he's played 11, 16, and 27 games.
Oof. And that's 27 was the lockout.
Yeah.
Yeah, even in the lockout season.
He's never played a full season.
That's unfortunate.
Most he's played was 80
That's
games,
nice.
I think. The most games he's played in a season.
I'll call that a full season because that could have
yeah.
been just a sickness or
But
something.
after that, I saw some 55s, 70s.
Yeah, that's no dice. No
He's
dice.
very injury prone.
He's obviously at this point he doesn't have a contract, so he's obviously going to be a death move. But
Definitely depth.
he's on the PTO list. The San Jose Sharks have invited forward Anthony Stewart, the brother of Chris Stewart,
He's definitely a depth
the
player.
lesser Stewart, if
Definitely
you will.
a depth player.
Yeah, another PTO guy. And
He had 20 points one year,
1 year.
2011.
He's been with the
He was
he's been with the
Carolina.
Hurricanes.
Yeah.
So yeah, he
Well, his last season in the NHL
full
was 2011,
full-ish
2012.
season.
In the
He hasn't played in the
chair.
Chelsea since.
Oof.
He's been AHL and EIHL, whatever. But his last season he played in the NHL was 2011, 2012.
And how many games was that?
I'm not sure exactly.
He was a depth
but
player. I know he was there.
He's
but
a depth
he
player.
didn't play a full
He
season.
got
I
20
don't
points.
think.
I mean,
Yeah,
20
I mean, if
point
he's putting
guy.
up points, 20 points, and he wasn't on the top two lines,
Yeah.
and you kind of want to get 30 points out of your third liner. So
And,
if he was there or lower. That's still
Dvorak
pretty good.
too, wasn't Radek Dvorak?
Yeah, Radek Dvorak. He's he got a PTO for
He had
Carolina.
37 points one year
Oh,
with
How recent?
St. Louis 2006, 2007.
Ooh. He's been overseas the last few years.
Yeah,
hasn't he?
yes,
Okay,
yes.
so I mean, if you look at his numbers overseas, now granted that's another league, but they tend to translate somewhat. You give or take a few points when you're exchanging leagues. But
He had a 37-point season with St. Louis, and he had a 36-point season with Florida.
Well, I mean,
But that was
when he was here, he was
what?
putting up points. But again,
That was like 5 years ago.
Yeah, about 5 years ago. So you can't look at it too much. And again, it's a PTO. So if he plays well, he get the contract. If he doesn't, he just goes back overseas, I assume.
yeah.
Moving on to rules. There, as
There
you
are
know,
no
there are a
rules
few
here.
rule changes that we've gone over in the
But
past.
NHL 94, no rules.
Yeah, well, you know what? In that
Offsides
case,
my ass.
Goal. Let's celebrate.
the AHL and NHL will be using hybrid icing for the preseason. Obviously, they're just going to test that out, and if it goes over well, they'll be bringing it in. But I know around the time the lockout was ending, they were just looking at minor details of the CBA. The players were like, just give us no touch or leave it at what it is. So the hybrid icing, nothing has changed since then. No polls have been taken. So yeah, the players they obviously don't care
It'll come
for
down to the PA, and they'll decline
it.
it.
And it's probably going to get
They'll
declined.
veto it.
Now, personally, I look at the injuries, and again, there hasn't been a ton of them. There's been maybe 3, 4 in the last 5 years of serious injuries of guys crashing into the boards, whether it's a small bump or he hits a rut and there's some contact. But if your concern is guys getting injured going into the corners, then wouldn't you just go the hybrid icing route?
Well, the thing is, though, if it's even
And
race,
I'm playing devil's
let's
advocate
say,
on
look,
this, by the way.
if it's an even race, they let them race.
Yeah.
It could still happen then.
Exactly, because, I mean, some guys are just better skaters, so you have a slow defenseman going up there. Yeah, he's in front. He's closer to the puck. But then you have a small guy like Maurice St. Louis with that last burst of speed. He can get the puck. So technically, it's still an open race.
Say you have Chara
and for the record, it's to the face-off dots, the hybrid thing.
But
that they're
say
looking
you
at.
have Chara and St. Louis, and Stamkos puts the puck in the zone, ices it. It's a race to the puck, right?
Mhm.
It's even at the dot.
At the dot.
So it's let them race.
Still an open race. That
Yeah.
no
So then
down.
St. Louis passes Chara, goes the puck and Chara nails in the boys from behind.
Yeah, and
Still happens.
Yeah, there's still going to be issues. I think the main thing that they wanted to get rid of is those sudden impacts crashing into the boards as opposed to being hit
It
into
can
the boards.
still happen.
Yeah.
They want to stop that. Just go no touch. Just
Yeah,
no touch
personally, I will admit I'm cool with hybrid icing. I don't care one way or the other, but the current rules as they stand, they're totally fine. And the major injuries that people are worried about,
I'm with the players there. Keep it
on there.
how it is. A good
Yeah,
touch icing.
I'll go with that too.
No touch icing.
Yeah.
No touch.
Jarrett Stoll.
touching.
Jarrett Stoll, as you know, he suffered a seizure.
Yeah,
I think it was during the playoffs.
No, well, in the playoffs, he got hit by Rafi Torres.
Yeah.
Concussed,
Some were
missed,
kinda connected
missed
to it.
6 games, came back, played 5 games in the final series against Chicago.
Yeah.
In July, he had a seizure.
Yeah, July. So
he had
he's
a rough
saying now
year.
he's 100%. He's ready to go. So that's always
for
good
him.
news
Good
to
for
see
him.
people getting healthy.
Rafi Torres, man, just
I don't know, man. That guy is a loose cannon. Damian Brunner. Now,
Loose.
some people have their opinions one way or the other.
the thing with him.
Was he good because he played with Zetterberg?
Well, see, with him, the biggest thing is with him is he started out the season, first 19 games had like 10 games.
He had a lot of
First
points.
10 games, he had 12 goals.
Yeah.
Finished with 12 total.
Settled down.
Something
yeah.
like that. Something like
there were,
that.
There were a few players like that. And, I mean, you can say, oh, it's a lockout season, but at the end of the day, you're still playing NHL
Yeah,
games.
it's 10 goals first 19 games.
Now, let's keep in mind, I think he's 26 or 27, but he's an
Yeah.
NHL rookie.
But, yeah.
So this was his first season.
The stats are he had 10 goals the first 19 games.
Yeah.
Finished with 12 in,
All right.
in 44 games. So he had a hot start.
He had an okay playoffs, I think. I don't think he lit it up, but
yeah,
he had
but
a
he really hot start to the
game-winning
season.
goals. Yeah.
Slacked off. Not even slack off. He tried
Trailed
still,
off.
but he trailed off.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with him.
All right, so he's actually possibly, this isn't confirmed, possibly heading to the Swiss
They
National
gave him an offer and
A-League.
he didn't turn it down.
Yeah, I guess he
Wings
wanted more
did.
money, and I don't blame him because you had one good year and a lockout year, and you trailed off at the end of the season, and that was only 48 games.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't blame them for getting into that, but he may have priced himself out of the NHL because E.V. Zug of the Swiss National A team, he's reportedly going to be signing a game-to-game contract with him.
What team did he play for?
The E.V. Zug is the parent team. I don't know why their team name is letters, but that seems to be the running trend over there.
That's laughable.
That's their name. I mean,
Because letters are hilarious.
laughs at letters.
there's some
I love
KHL
letters.
ones. I'm not even going to get into that. Moving on. That reminds me of the lockout too much. We'll stick with Russians, though. We can stay in Russia. Pavel
And
Datsyuk,
Red Wings, too.
the magician Pavel Datsyuk, had some items disappear from his house. He was apparently robbed. I don't believe he was there at the time, but about
Interesting.
$45,000 worth of stolen items in his. And I haven't rehearsed this at all, so this is going to be fun. The city that he lives in, I guess this is his hometown, Yekaterinburg. That sounds pretty
As
close.
I
Nice
said,
try.
tonight, Lamar Butcher's name of a city.
Yekaterinburg.
Well, let me see it.
You have one over there.
I do.
That's weird. Does it translate to something? That's what I always wonder when I hear these cities. Do they translate to something that actually makes
Yekaterinburg.
sense, or is this just
Yekaterinburg.
See, but look,
I would go with Yekaterinburg.
Yeah,
that
that's
would be
if I was British, I'd say Yekaterinburg.
Oh,
Burr.
yeah. Okay.
There's another team with a nice, good Russian on it. The Washington Capitals. They've made a few
many good
small
Russians.
moves in promoting Olaf Kolzig to head goaltending coach.
Arguably the best goalie they've ever had in the franchise.
and
much,
with
yeah.
the young goalie and Braden Holtby, who's quickly, I was about to say
Already.
slowly, but very quickly rising to the top
Yeah.
of the crop. Which I know a lot of people, when he got drafted, they were saying he was the future, even though they had Varley and Neuver. So that's finally coming to fruition, and he's taking the money and running. And now he has a new goaltending coach. The Vancouver Canucks, another legend, since we're on the idea of prominent
The
figures
Russian
on teams.
Rocket.
Pavel Bure, his number 10, is being retired for the Canucks on Saturday, November the 2nd, I believe in a game versus the Toronto Maple Leafs. So that should be fun for you Canucks fans out there.
Yeah.
Staying in Canada,
Speaking of Burr, though, he had 779 points.
yeah, I looked at his numbers and
Won a Calder,
people, yeah.
Rookie of the Year.
A lot of people, and maybe it might have been someone else, but I'm pretty sure it was him saying his numbers were good, but the amount of games played or something like that interferes with his Hall of Fame stuff.
He's in the Hall of Fame,
Okay,
2012.
he did. Okay, so he didn't end up getting it. This was a while ago. I just wasn't sure if that was ever settled. But sticking in Canada, Evander Kane, he always seems to make his way to our show, and it's never for good. I wish one day he'd just do something like super nice that with any other player they would report it and put in the newspapers, but that's not the case here.
Nope.
Apparently, he had some.
Ooh, beer.
He had some
Sorry.
unpaid tickets. One, I think, was texting and driving. and the other one was driving with not a valid. He didn't have a valid license. He said he forgot to pay those tickets, but the team says it wasn't a big deal.
So basically,
they paid for it, and he was going to pay them back.
What happened was
and
basically
somehow
probably
money didn't go through.
Tickets for texting, didn't pay him, license got suspended, and then drove again.
I suppose that's possible.
Well,
but
not,
yeah,
I mean,
that's apparently
not
settled.
a valid
No big
license.
deal.
Like,
Everything's done.
Like,
That's when I first heard. I was like, "Wait, why doesn't he have a valid license? He's been playing there for
probably
at least
the
a year
tickets,
now."
The tickets probably. I think you can pay a ticket after a
The
certain
two
amount of
could
time.
be connected, I suppose. But
I'm not sure, but I feel like if you don't pay a ticket, you can get
your license revoked.
suspended,
Yeah, that makes
revoked
sense.
or whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, there's
And
no
then-
timetable on this.
and
So
then
we don't
he
know how much in between.
Forgot about it being suspended,
See again,
which everyone does.
Oh,
you
forgot
know.
about the suspension. Oh yeah. He said he forgot about the tickets themselves. Forgot to pay for them.
Well, yeah. If
But his understanding from what I've read in the article was that the team was going to pay for him and he was going to reimburse the team, which did happen.
Yeah.
It's just somewhere in between the team paying the DMV or whatever, some funds got lost.
Yeah.
So that became an issue quite quickly.
Funds got lost.
John Tavares, another young budding superstar. Well, actually, he's a superstar. We can give him that tag now.
Yeah.
He's pretty much proved
you
himself.
saw it firsthand.
We got past him. Go Pens. The Islanders will apparently be naming him the captain of the Islanders, which is to the shock and surprise of absolutely no one. Apparently next week they're supposed to be doing this. So good on him. And that brings us to there are a lot of vacancies in the NHL for their captaincies.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay said that they're not expected to name him
not
captain until after preseason.
LeCavalier is
until
gone.
the final game of the
LeCavalier
preseason.
is gone. So he was the captain before.
And
Stamkos, I guess.
Yeah. And the thing is, they're still discussing this, and some of us said St. Louis, some have said Stamkos, but it's too obvious. It's Stamkos.
Like,
because already St. Louis is going to be gone. In
If
a year
you
or
want
two.
a real captain, you have to St. Louis.
Well, yeah,
but
of course.
if for the future,
There's no point of you have it for this year, and then we'll get the
just give it to him to
superstar
begin
is
with.
there.
Yeah.
He's good. He's proven himself. So it's not you're just giving it to the best player. He's proven himself. It's a lot easier to just give him the C. Other teams that haven't figured out their captains: Calgary, Edmonton, Dallas, Buffalo, and Ottawa. Now, of course, that's with Agina leaving, Horkoff leaving, Morrow leaving. Pominville, I believe, was the captain. He's in Minnesota now.
Yeah.
And Daniel Alfredson, which
Get the Bobby
it's not
Ryan
down, but
Do they have any players left?
well,
So for them, I'm going
question.
Chris
I
Phillips
should get
or Spezza.
Oh, that's a curveball. I was going to actually say Spezza or Carlson, just because he's the young
I
superstar.
said Chris Phillips or Spezza.
Peasel.
Now, I feel like Phillips, Spezza would be the best choice. And if I was picking who would be it, I'd say Spezza just because I'm more of a fan of a forward getting the C than a defenseman, which is no knock on anybody, but that's just how I see it. But if you have that young budding superstar, Erik Karlsson, it seems easier to just give him the C. You gave him the money. He's got the ice time. He's proven himself pretty much. He's got a Norris under his belt.
But is he a
regardless
leader?
whether he deserved it or not.
Is he a leader?
See, and I love that you said that. There are a lot of captains in the league that aren't necessarily big rah-rah guys. Sidney
Ovi.
Crosby, for instance, on
Ovi.
our team, he talks to his teammates, but he's not that get everybody riled up.
Same with
And that's
Ovi.
what I typically think when I think of a captain.
Yeah.
But there aren't a lot of those guys in the league anyway, so you can't really say anything bad about guys who aren't like that. Because, I mean, either way, it's still lead by example.
I mean, with the Penguins, I'm just said, but I'm guessing like Kunitz is a lot play vocal.
Kunis is one of the guys. Dupuis is one of the higher end guys that's talking a lot. Brooks Orpik, which a lot of guys.
And Caps, Ovechkin, but then Brooks Like is
like Troy Brouwer, he's a big
Yeah.
locker room guy too. So
Yeah,
I mean,
Matt Hendricks
there are a
was
lot of
when he was
teams
here.
that have captains that aren't the necessary big talker, but they have a lot of guys around that'll do it anyway. But since this guy's the face of the
But-
franchise,
I'm a fan of Carlson, but he doesn't seem like captain material to me yet.
Personally, he hasn't shown me anything, and it's not that he's done something to make me say no. But at this stage, he's still like really young.
Yeah.
He's not a rah-rah guy, and he's not a guy that's really doing a lot of talking in the locker room, which, again, isn't a knock. But when you think captain, you at least want some of those qualities.
Yeah.
And he's only
He
really
hasn't done
proven
anything
it
for
years.
you.
There's only been like 2 of those. Mm-hmm. He's been good. He hasn't been terrible, but he's still Erik Karlsson. He's not the guy you think of when you think, oh, this guy's a C. But, yeah, those are the available captaincies. A lot of stuff going around there. And
You can give the A for Achilles.
That's cold. That's cold. Well,
Wow.
Matt Cook's not in the conference anymore, so he's got that going for him.
Minnesota.
Colorado, they do have a captain in Gabriel Landeskog, which was another one where I was like, that's an interesting choice.
I saw a poll the other day on Twitter, or it was MEC's poll, I think it was. Mm-hmm. Would you rather have Landeskog or Nick Backstrom?
I did see that.
Why?
It's such an easy choice that it's not even fair that they even made the poll. Now, Gabriel Landeskog, he has the C. Whatever, that doesn't mean anything. It's all about what's on paper. What have you done? What have you?
Yeah, but the poll thing, people were being dumb saying Landeskog over Backstrom.
I don't know. They're both Swedes.
I mean,
Backstrom's
a player, but I'd rather pick Backstrom. If I wasn't a Caps fan.
Of course you pick Backstrom. There should be no debate about that. You pick Backstrom because he's proven it. He's gotten 100 points.
The thing is, though, every girl was like, "Oh, Landy."
And skewed results, I guess. Yeah. Well,
but
Colorado, they have a brand new scoreboard because everyone wants to do that all of a sudden. It's very Cowboys inspired.
Have either of you
very Tampa Bay inspired?
Have either of you read?
I can't stand that.
Fahrenheit 451, the book.
No, but I wanted to.
You read that book, Lee?
What book?
Fahrenheit 451.
I have not. No.
Okay, well,
I don't read nearly as much as I should.
Well, I don't think you read at all.
I do read sometimes. Shut up.
It was written in like the
hell. I can't read.
It was written in the 50s, but facing the future in the room of these giant screens over the place.
Uh-huh.
Like there's 4 walls and there's a TV screen covering the whole wall. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, and
it sounds like something out of 1984.
There is a picture on the podcast page that you will be able to check out once this goes up. Those are one-timers, which were actually rather fast. Which we want to go for that.
One-timers are supposed to be fast. That's why they're one-timers.
We're not cradling it at all.
You're trying to take the goalie by surprise. That's the point of a one-timer.
Speaking of one-tees, do you guys see the video of Ovechkin breaking the light at the TSN
I did
shoot?
not. I didn't.
Yeah, they're doing the TSN
they're doing the
shoots.
media tours right now.
Someone was feeding him one-timers. He was shooting a net or something, and the light was too low. And
he tends to break things. So,
the light broke.
He does that. It's a thing he does. Luckily this week, we don't have a body count per se, but there are a lot of players, Jonathan Huberdeau, guys who have had surgeries that are still getting healthy. Jonathan Huberdeau, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Andre Mazzaros, to name a few.
Claude Giroux.
Also, Claude Giroux, his hand, that was a thing. We're going to get to that in a second. There are a lot of guys who are getting healthy, not 100% yet, but are planned to be ready either for the last couple preseason games. In Claude Giroux's case, he said he'll be ready for the last 2 preseason games. But the other players, they said there's some tenderness there or they haven't been cleared. Same with Mike Rupp. His knee is apparently still a little bruised up.
He's old.
Yeah, a lot of guys that just haven't been cleared yet, but they're expected to be able to start the season relatively within a nice time frame. Few transactions, not very many. Recently, obviously, there was some in July, but those were
in July. Video.
Yeah, Teemu forever. Or at least for another year. Teemu Selanne re-signs with Anaheim 1 year.
That video was awesome, by the way.
No bonuses.
He never retires.
The video was awesome.
I love that
hope
video.
He's playing when he's 80 years old.
It's the video. You take it and you analyze it, right? It shows he cares.
Wait, tell me about this video.
I liked it.
Like if you analyze it, he throws the golf bag in the water, right? The phone's in the bag still. Mm-hmm. Most people would have gone left and called him later.
Oh, yeah.
He swam in the fucking water.
He needed to let his boss know.
He let his boss know he cared that much about the team.
I gotta come back.
He got in the water, which it has all that kind of crap in it.
He's such a classy person.
Swam out, brought it back, called GM.
Said, hey, can't do this. Sign me up. But yeah, the video is pretty much he pretty much broke it down. But he's at a golf course. He's
doing
done
terribly
with hockey. He's sucking because Teemu doesn't know how to play golf. He's too busy in the playoffs.
Unlike Claude Giroux, he was calm about it and didn't break the club.
We'll
get that later.
Into that. But yeah, here's a quote from him because he is old. Yeah. If you haven't noticed that, he says
he's old.
His quote is, "Down the road, I think him and his coach Bruce Boudreau can sit down and see when the schedule's really hectic, and I can take some nights off." So he's not going to play all 82 games. From the sound of that quote, he will be taking a few nights off, literally not mailing it in, but he's not going to be playing some games just to keep himself fresh. 82 games, playoffs, and all that. But yeah, Teemu is back for one more year,
forever.
And some people were questioning loyalty on Alfredsson's part because they were saying, "Oh, he still wants to get that cup," and they were saying, "Well, Teemu's got it, so he can take $2 million a year, and it's no big deal." But Alfredsson, I think he got 5.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, I think it was like 2, and then the bonus money jumped it up to 5 or something like that. And they were saying, well, if it was about loyalty or winning a cup, you go to Detroit, take less, so that they can Like Cleary, for instance, he might be on a PTO somewhere because there's not enough money to sign him. So if Alfredsson had that loyalty, he would have taken less and gone to Detroit so that they can build a nice team as opposed to getting a lot of money. It's not just about cups, apparently, is what they're saying pretty much. But actually, a small note on that Dan Cleary thing. He says he's not signing any PTOs with Detroit. He wants something more. He said he'll go to training camp on an agreement on a contract, but no PTO.
I don't blame him.
He wants a contract.
I don't blame him.
And I don't blame him either. He's an older guy. He's been
there
there
forever.
8 years.
Yeah.
So, and he took a PTO when he first got there. He took a PTO to go there. So I don't blame him one bit for doing that. Corey Crawford. You know,
God.
Wait. Nicholas Hjalmarsson. Pretty good Swedish defenseman. He is standing
blocks
for
a lot
Chicago.
of shots.
5 years, 20.5 mil, 1.4 cap hit. That's all right for him. He's a
Solid guy.
He's a player that he's solid. He's not
Solid,
going to be a liability. He's a good defensive defenseman. Back to Crawford though. This is what I really want to discuss.
Yes.
6 years, 36 mil, 6
I'm
mil.
going to top
cap
myself.
hit. Now
I'm going to top myself.
he's going to make 6.5 next year because this is an extension. He's going to make 6.5 next year, then 6.5 again, then 6, then 6, then 5.
That's essentially the hockey equivalent of the fact that Joe Flacco is now the highest paid quarterback in the NFL.
Luckily, thank God, he's not the highest paid goalie in the league, though.
It's still
I
overpaid.
see your connection.
You get what I mean?
Now,
He
Corey
gets what I
Crawford.
mean.
You can love him, you can hate him.
The
you can be
team.
a
I'm not
Hawks
saying he's a
fan,
bad
It's the
whatever.
goalie.
team.
I'm just,
Exactly. Now, a lot of players get contracts based on how they play on a good team. There's some players like a lot of people have always said Sid needs wingers because Pascal Dupuis and Chris Kunitz aren't good enough. But on this team, he is good enough, and he's earning the money that he's getting. But
with a forward, it's different from a forward and a goalie because the forward,
completely agree with
even
that.
if playing a Sid Crosby, you still got to finish, and you still got to put it in the net.
And a
You
lot of
still gotta
people
pass
think-
him the puck to get
exactly, a lot of people say, "Oh, well, you're playing with this player." Well, you wouldn't be playing with that player if you sucked.
Yeah.
But that's why I see where you're saying goalie would be different because they're
And
not
and
playing
also,
with anyone in particular.
If you watch Corey Crawford, he doesn't make saves. He stops
Glove high.
pucks.
Glove high. He's me. He's Chicago. Give me a contract. I stop pucks too. I don't make saves. I get in front of pucks. That's what I do. Since you're throwing around money, but yeah, the years I only have an issue with because I don't like giving people long-term contracts. That's just a thing I don't like. The money, if you're going to give him the
Especially
years,
a shaky
I
guy.
like it.
He was shaky in the last series.
and he's never been stellar. But I guess they're assuming if they have that team in front of him every year, that money is worth it.
How likely is that?
Exactly. This is Chicago we're talking about. They kind of have somewhat of a
Messed up the
thing
first time.
of blowing up the
Messed it up
team
a bit.
after winning the
A
cup.
bit the first time.
They got lucky this year, though. Bolin, I think he was the only main name that left.
The guy won the cup-winning goal. You know.
Exactly. And, I mean, he got some nice
They
money.
signed Bickle for a lot of turn.
But was he up all night to get lucky?
Let's discuss that for a quick second. Why the hell is Bickle making so much money? Now, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I remember looking at it and going, really? That's what
Really?
his numbers in the regular season don't even translate to that. So you could say, oh, he had a lot of playoff success, and I get it. Playoff success leads to money, but
Success.
If I
not
was a
success.
GM,
There's a difference.
if I could re-sign Boland and Furleek over Bickle, I would do that.
hands down, no doubt.
He gives Bickle long.
Because, I mean,
a lot
you
of
still
money.
have Andrew Shaw coming up and Brandon Saad coming
so
up.
he gives
Those are
Bickle a lot
body
of money,
bangers.
and then has to lose. Furleek's really underrated player.
Yeah,
He's
that's
in the-
a-
he's
that's
in
a
the-
lot-
he's
a lot
in
of
the
people
fourth
don't give him
line.
the credit he deserves. And yeah, he's on the fourth line. And now, if he was on another team, he'd be on the third line, and you could even argue second
He
line.
plays second.
But for that team, him being on the fourth line pretty much just shows there's a lot of talent there, which I guess you get why they can let a guy like Bolin go. But if you're not replacing him with someone that fills that role, whether it be physicality or defensively or playmaking, whatever you
But
want to have
in
for
Bickle's
skills,
defense, he's a hell of a shot.
I'll give him that. We can settle on that. Tip ins, not the whole thing. It's the tip. That's an old joke that I want to bring back, but
Very
I don't
nice.
think it will be coming back. Back to Claude Giroux. His
Yeah.
hand. He was playing golf a little while ago. Took a swing. He said
The club
the
shattered.
club hit the
He
ground. He was pretty much taking a slap shot while playing golf. He said the club hit the ground before the ball,
Yeah.
and it shattered at the wrist.
I don't believe him.
I don't either, but it's very sketchy.
They interviewed a lot of golf players and said that's never happened to them before, ever.
Okay.
But there are also golf professionals.
But still, I mean, it's hard to break a golf club like that.
I would think so, because I always figure. I always wonder why they
golf
don't
for-
break because they're so thin.
I've played
the
golf
sticks,
before
and people
once,
are leaning into
and
them.
I was kind of bad.
All right.
Oh, I'm horrible.
And I was doing that a lot.
Golf is a lot harder than people think it is.
I was doing that a lot
wouldn't
with the drives.
I think that's what he busted up too.
Yeah, but I hit the ground a lot beforehand,
That makes sense.
and I was using a not very good club either. He probably has the good clubs.
Yeah, he probably
has some Callaways.
sprung for it. I don't
But-
even know what those are. I would have said TaylorMade just because those seem the
Probably
most
has some
popular.
Callaways, and I was playing with some crap. But
Couple twigs.
the only way I think you can break a golf club really is
Intentionally.
hitting it against a tree.
And that the article actually had that. He got mad because he missed something. But by dispelling that, they mentioned that he had an 8 handicap, which is apparently good. I don't know or not, but apparently that's a good thing. So that's why we know he's a good golfer, but he just had
Yeah,
a
but I
bad
mean,
stick.
it's even worse though. Like,
But it just sounds-
if you
if
know
you're a
you're
good
bad,
golfer-
if you know you're bad,
Uh,
you're not getting mad at yourself for doing bad, are you?
Exactly. And if
You're
you're a
good
good
and
golfer,
you're doing bad.
you wouldn't be hitting the ball with the ground behind the ball, right? I would think.
See, look,
if you have an 8
in
handicap,
that-
which is
in that-
apparently
in that sense,
either
look,
good or average.
If you're a bad golfer and you're messing up a lot, you're not going to care.
No.
You're not going to get angry. But if you're good and you're doing poorly that day, you can get mad at yourself, aren't you?
Yeah, and they've had I'm not joking
so
on
say
the Flyers.
he's-
They've had a long off season. He hasn't had
They
time
shit the beach.
to practice.
But
Yeah.
maybe shit the sand trap.
Who knows? I just think it's sketchy.
Yeah.
I'll take your word, but with reservations.
I'll take it with a grain of salt.
Ovechkin, we mentioned him briefly earlier with the captaincy thing, but
He's-
the KHL wants him. No shit.
The
The KHL wants Ovechkin back.
Of course.
He's thanks, but no thanks. His quote.
He said no worries also. He
Yeah,
said no worries.
yeah, I'm here. I'm going to work for my contract. Not going to worry about it. I'm here. I have a contract. Now, if you want to play devil's advocate, you can say so did Kovalchuk, but I
Well-
think they're in totally different
Well,
situations.
he
on their team.
did say more than that. He's like, no worries. My goal is
Yeah,
one
there
cup
was more
here.
to it. The quote, more quotes are
Yeah.
in the tip-ins, but
Yeah.
he pretty much said, "I'm
Don't
not.
worry about it."
You have nothing to be worried about." And I really don't think they do because Kovalchuk was in a totally different situation as far as
Don't worry.
just from a marketing standpoint. There's more money for Ovechkin here from a marketing standpoint, even if he's losing money on his actual contract because he's got a ton of endorsement and that stuff Kovalchuk
and also
didn't have.
he has a reasonable, logical girlfriend, fiance, and she'll keep him.
Maybe
straight.
maybe
Keep him
maybe
occupied.
Kobe just wanted the K because I think they gave it to
He
Zajac
wanted the K.
in New Jersey. So maybe he just wanted the K.
He just wanted the K.
Or he wanted the D.
Bring on the D.
I'm not gonna buy it to it.
All right, fine.
Calgary Flames. Brian Burke, hockey ops.
Yeah.
leading shit. It's nice to see him back because just for the quotes. Lots of what's his?
He's a nice guy.
Truculence and pugnacity is what he likes
Yeah.
in his players. So I want to hear words like that more, and a lot of new loose neckties and whatnot.
Yeah.
He's like Torts of GMs, pretty much.
But he's a lot nicer.
He's an
Except he's
eclectic
nice.
character.
Except you like him too.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Calgary Flames have done that, and a lot of people are saying that's not a good move because he's more of a GM type now. Even in the press release, they're pretty much saying Brian Burke is the president of hockey ops, and technically Jay Feaster's the GM, but not really. So in this situation, I see it as he's proven himself on teams. So I told you not to look at it. You want to look at it, you're gonna hurt your own feelings. But Brian Burke, he needs to be in the league. He's the type of person you want in the league, and it's good to have him back, not as a scout for the Anaheim Ducks, which was who really bought into that. That was just a title. But he is officially back in hockey, and he's not the GM, but he's pretty much the GM. Jay Feaster
pretty
is
much.
answering to him, and that was in the press release. That's not my words.
Kind
He's
of
answering-
sacking Patrick Waugh, kind of pretty much.
Exactly. It's exactly like that. And what's the dude's name? Greg Sherman,
Yeah.
the GM in there.
That one guy with the name with
Sherman
the face.
Tank.
Let's talk sweaters.
There are some good ones, and there's some
And
terrible.
we'll start with the good ones.
Wait. There are some good ones. There are some bad ones, and there's some absolute rubbish.
The good, the bad,
And the ugly.
The ugly.
Called
Minnesota
Clint
Wild.
Eastwood.
They got new away jerseys. Very nice.
Very
I
nice.
like them.
I like 'em.
And they, before I saw those, it didn't help me appreciate the ugliness of their old ones. Because now that looking back, the green on the arm just looks stupid.
Yeah.
Why was that?
Yeah.
ever
Hey
a
guys, I
thing?
found us some appropriate sweater music. There you go.
Let's see the song. All right.
You can continue now.
So Minnesota, their new jerseys, it's just the road jerseys. They're keeping
Yeah.
their third jerseys, keeping their home jerseys. It's just their road
The
jerseys.
Christmas trees.
We still have
Yeah.
the Devils, though. They're thirds. I don't know if they wear them as often anymore, but they have some Christmas trees, too. But luckily, we won't have to worry about
Now,
Minnesota,
the
hopefully,
bad. The
anymore.
bad. Sabres.
Let's go to the bad.
The Sabres.
Oh, God. Oh, God. What? Why?
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 I don't know.
What are you
They
doing?
kind of
I felt like they
Screwed
had
the pooch
potential.
there.
The
They kinda
pitchers
screwed the pooch.
Exactly. They had sneak peeks up throughout the summer, and you were like, "Oh, he's all right. I like this. This looks cool."
Yeah.
And then they released the whole thing. Well, I'm sorry. Steve Ott leaked the whole thing,
Nah.
and Jesus Christ, the gray numbers, two-tone gold.
what were you thinking?
Why?
No, and the font came out of nowhere for the number font, and the
Yeah.
fact that it's gray on top of that, it's like really big. I don't know what they were thinking on that, but
the ugly.
Black, I think he's the owner.
Yeah.
He said no comment. He's not discussing it, which
Wonder
has
why.
led to some conspiracies.
Ooh.
Some people think that that's not the real Buffalo jersey. I don't know why.
Then why was Steve out wearing it? Is my
Now, again,
question.
the whole leak thing. Now, that has, to this point, I believe, been revealed. That was a fix. They did plan him to, quote-unquote,
Yeah.
leak it. But due to, they're saying it's too ugly to be real. And I guess that's the basis of the conspiracy. And then the conspiracy behind that conspiracy
they're kind of right.
is that if they did release these before the real ones, just, I guess, get them off their back so no one's looking for leaks, that would be too genius to be true either. So the idea that those aren't the real jerseys, I would like to think it's true, but it's probably not.
We wish it's true.
They're
'cause
probably going
they're-
to wear those 5-6 times a year, and pretty much, sorry Buffalo fans, I feel for your eyes. Good luck with that. Let's get on to
the ugly.
the ugly.
Team Canada.
Now,
Oh.
we should preface this by saying we're Americans, so we've seen our jersey, and it's not pretty either.
Ours
Yes.
looks good now.
But if we're going to compare the two, I don't know. I don't know. What happened there? Now, like I was saying last night when it popped up
Yeah,
on the
we were
interwebs,
together.
I was
we
like,
were all
this isn't
we were all at the Turtle,
this isn't too
eating,
bad.
some food, and me and Lamar Lily, we went.
I thought
at-
it wasn't too bad as a
Like,
shirt
at the
or
same
like a
time,
jacket.
though, me and you were like, you see what I'm seeing?
Yeah.
And
So that now I'm sure you've seen it by now. Jonathan Taze is the model in the picture that has
Yeah.
gone up, and that was posted by Getty, so you know it's legit. And then it was taken down, so you really know it's legit. Now I will say this: now that today Hockey Canada came out and said, no, we're releasing ours on October the 8th. So apparently no one knows what the Canada jersey is.
Mend them.
Pretty much. So and I hope they do because it
It
just
needs
looks
mending.
weird. Like and
No,
I will say
actually, I hope they don't.
yeah.
Because now ours will look, ours will stay looking better.
Ours are still rubbish.
Yeah.
Now with Canada, it has the the white stripe
Yeah.
on one side.
It's
Just
on. It's
put
on
another one on the other side,
It's on the left shoulder.
and
It's
then
right.
there's the maple leaf, which is cool. But I don't get. Now you said Nike has already made their jerseys.
Yeah.
They've already been making their jerseys, and this is just their new initiative for new jerseys or whatever. And they're rubbish. Russia's are rubbish. America's are rubbish. Canada's are Jesus Christ.
What's Sweden's?
That's what I was getting to. You can't screw up
Canada's
yellow.
are a literal
They've
deity.
always been mustard. It's been yellow all day for the Swedes. Yellow and blue. You can't screw that up.
You can't.
I'm really looking forward to what the Swedes are wearing. I mean, it's going to be blinding.
They're
We
gonna screw it
expect
up.
that.
They're gonna screw it up.
If they screw up Sweden's jerseys, they're doing it on purpose.
Institutional
Everybody should
failure.
just have really, really
Their
ugly
purpose is
jerseys,
doing
and that'll be the running joke.
All right, let's step away from those good, bad, and ugly jerseys. And
You know, that's good that we're going to stop talking about sweaters now because the song just ended.
oh, it was playing that whole time.
Yes.
That was actually perfect then because it lasted just through the jersey portion of the
That's
segment.
literally what I just said.
Continue.
Teams. Now we've crapped on the jerseys a little.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about some teams that didn't happen,
Okay.
but almost happened.
The Honolulu hockey bags.
Yeah.
I love that. That'd be cool. I'd be cool with that.
Honolulu hockey bags.
The Colorado Avalanche, as we know them, were almost the Colorado Black Bears. That was in the running. The Outlaws, the Storm,
What about the Hampton Roads Rhinos?
the Wranglers,
The Jeep Wranglers.
the Renegades, the Rapids, and the Cougars were possible names for the Colorado Avalanche. Now, Avalanche makes sense now that you look at
Yeah.
the
Colorado,
other options.
mountains, snow.
Exactly.
You can't see it any other way now.
Now we switch over to Minnesota, which were also in a
what
little
were their
bit of trouble
choices?
with other names.
This
Luckily, they didn't
verifies
settle
it's a
on.
bear in the logo.
Yeah, it does. White
Yeah, it
Bears,
took me a while to see that because I'm retarded. But
Blue Ox,
What?
Northern Lights, Voyagers,
Alaska?
and Freeze.
Freeze be kind
Now
of cool.
it's pretty cold in Minnesota from what I hear, but I still don't know what a Wild is. But I think by comparison,
better than the Blue Ox.
those names are just too mouthy.
Yeah.
Minnesota has too many syllables to have a 2-word
If you had an Alaskan team,
Name.
Northern Lights would be cool.
Alaskan
Alaskan Northern Lights.
Yeah,
be kinda
but
cool.
this is Minnesota we're talking about.
Minnesota.
Moving on to Nashville.
You remember Minnesota used to be Minnesota North Stars.
Yeah,
that's
why
very wordy as
the
well.
Northern Lights kind of flows
Yeah.
there. Now, again, we don't know when these names were how far in between them actually settling on the Wild and where the other teams are. So these are just names that have recently popped up. Nashville, the Ice Tigers. That one I didn't get at all.
The Fury.
Fury and the Attack. I like Predators. I'm glad
Yeah.
they went with Predators. Now, Fury
The
and
Attack.
those are kind of almost the
pretty-
same. In the
that's
fact
pretty
where you're
bad,
thinking
actually.
Fury and Attack, those are more active jumping out, but it kind of reminds me of if we were going to go with Fury or Attack, that'd be more fitting for the Panthers because the cats jumping out or whatever. New Jersey Devils. They were almost called the Americans,
The Blades.
or the Blades, the Coastals, the Colonels, the Gulls,
The Jaguar.
The Gulls.
the Jaguars or Jaguars if you were
Jaguar.
British, the Meadowlanders, and the Meadow Larks.
If I'm not mistaken,
Those
there
are
was
possible
a
names.
Mellon Fields.
Obviously, yeah, playing off the Meadowland.
if I'm
Whatever.
not mistaken, there was a basketball team a long time ago in this area called the Virginia Gulls.
Really?
Yes.
Hmm.
It's a it's a horrible name.
Oh, no doubt,
Yes.
doubt, definitely. San Jose, they were. Well, this is
I
where
love
it gets
this.
fun.
I love this.
This is where it gets fun, and they make no sense, just based on what we have now with the shark situation. They were almost called the Blades, and side story to that, they said no to that because gang violence was apparently a thing when they were coming up with that name.
Okay, all right.
Now again, there are other teams,
Kind of like how the
but these are the ones I
kinda how,
really
like,
wanted to get out.
The Washington Bullets had to change their name to Washington Wizards.
That was a thing.
That was the thing.
Yeah.
The murder rate in D.C. was so high, and the name of the NBA team was Washington Bullets. So out of political correctness, they decided to change the name.
Now the Blades was
The more you know.
a thing for the fans. The fans chose that name, but
Yeah.
again, because of the crime thing, they were like, no. Screaming Squids.
Squid hands.
They were
Squid
almost
hands.
the San Jose Screaming
You see
Squids.
those vines.
Wow.
Squid hands. Squid hands.
The Salty Dogs.
Ooh.
What?
The fog.
The Fog. Oh, man.
The that'd be good.
Peep this,
Yeah,
though.
that'd be great.
The Icebreakers in San Jose. Icebreakers. All right. I wouldn't use an ice reference if you're even possibly talking about California, especially where the hockey is
Sharks
actually being
makes
played.
sense. They have sharks there. Makes sense.
I'm
There
still
we go.
I'm
Boom.
still laughing at the fog.
I don't blame you. I'm still laughing at Screaming Squids.
love the
Redwoods. Now, I don't know what it looks like in San Jose. Maybe redwoods are a thing there. The tree
Never been.
name, maybe. I don't know. This is the killer. Rubber Puckies.
Oh,
What?
really?
Rubber duckies.
Really?
What?
Rubber Pucky,
Why?
you're the one.
Yeah, those are just some of the names that were thrown around. Now, I think the Islanders were one that were up there. I didn't
That's
put that
pretty
in.
bad.
Columbus had one on there. But, yeah, those are also, again, available on the website. Check the tip-ins. Autographs. Now, professional athletes, they're signing autographs all the time
Yeah.
in public signings.
When I was at Caps convention 2 years ago, I went there and I was in the autograph line. You get your ticket
Mm-hmm.
and you pay for autographs if you want to, or you can choose not to. And then you go and you pick which line you want to be in. And you go to the line and the players come out. You don't know what players you get, but I was in Alex Simmons' line, Carl Alzner's line.
Makes sense. Big
And,
names.
I was lucky and got in their line.
Mm-hmm.
This girl had a whip and had them
What?
sign their whip.
She likes it a little
And it-
rough.
It is on Caps
All right.
Red Line.
Well then,
I'm not lying. You can go on Caps Red Line, and Elliot from DC 101 videoed that part portion of it.
Wow.
and you can look for
Did,
yourself.
you, did they have like a video of his face when he like looked at the whip when she came up with it?
Simon, who's like,
That would have been gold. I feel like that would have been. Why?
Why?
well, he doesn't care, so.
Now that's a really weird thing to have someone sign, regardless
Yeah.
of who they are. Now Jonathan Quick was apparently he signed a grilled cheese. Someone walked up to him in a restaurant.
Oh, that's great.
At lunch today,
as he
actually.
was
ex-
at lunch, that was
As he
lunch
was
today.
explaining that, he was saying there was still saliva on it. So they must have literally saw him and said, "Oh,
That sucks because
oh, here,
that
sign
sucks
this for me."
because today for lunch, I grilled cheese for lunch today.
I don't know what he signed it with, but
I was like,
The always
did
delicious
they
grilled
finish
cheese
the
sandwich.
sandwich?
you know, it's cool. None of this actually.
Alaska's pretty
The
cool.
restaurant Gretzky's in
Uh-huh,
Toronto.
uh-huh.
If you order the burger, the bun is grilled in 99 on the bun.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. I like that.
To get in that
That's
for the
nice.
grilled cheese sandwich, have Jonathan Quick just grilled into the grilled cheese.
Uh,
Get George Foreman, Jonathan Quick autograph grill.
Rick Nash apparently signed a shoe.
What was it? Michael Bay shoe?
That's not as unusual
Was it Mike
as
Milbury?
a whip.
If they would have Mike Milbury sign a shoe, that would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome.
Dan Boyle signed the inside of an Aston Martin.
DB9. I don't know what kind it was actually, but
Yeah.
that's why would you do it to your car?
I don't know. They must
Well, I guess
really love the
well-
Sharks and Dan Boyle.
If you can buy an Aston Martin, you can get it
Yeah.
new one if you want to, but still,
I suppose.
Wow.
Wait,
you-
somebody
but-
signed a car?
A car, an Aston Martin. A really, really expensive car from what I
Shit,
you know what yours
that's pretty.
costs?
That's kind of cool though.
do you know what yours costs?
A lot of freaking
Yeah.
You
money.
want to guess
A
a
lot.
number?
I would not like to guess a number because
Guess a
I
number?
I'll put the price at a lot of fucking money.
I don't know the exact amount.
Roughly $280,000.
Yeah, I know they're a lot of
a
money.
few shillings. Jordan Stahl and Corey Perry signed
A few quid.
It'll cost you a
body
pretty penny.
parts.
Wait, what's that?
Body parts.
Which
Corey
body
Perry and
parts?
Jordan. It just says body parts.
It doesn't specify?
Use your imaginations.
Really?
I'm assuming it was girls. And if it were girls, then, I mean, that makes sense. And Marty St. Louis signed someone's forehead, which I guess that seems like a waste.
A forehead?
A forehead.
That's kind of like in Ricky Bobby, the end of that. You ever seen that movie with Will
Yeah.
Ferrell in it?
Now, I know some people,
Or
they
signs-
get people's signatures and then they tattoo them, but that's usually on their arms, their chests, and stuff like that. I mean, I would never do it. But I know that there are people that do, that they also do it. Wrapping this up, Mike Fisher. Now, it's a long off season. Apparently, he had a chipmunk in his house, and he tried to get rid of it. He did, but it bit him.
Did Carrie sing to him?
No, but she vined it. The video is available on the tidbits. She vined
I
it.
wish you had told me that before. I could have played it for people.
That's still possible.
Not really.
We're done
now.
with the Tippins, though. So, I mean, I guess not. It's still available on the site, though. You can check that out. That wraps that up.
That wraps up the show.
Emails,
a long
though.
time ago.
That'll wrap up the show.
Oh,
Now,
okay.
these are old emails, by the way, because we've kind of been off the air since February. Sorry about that.
While I'm getting the emails up here, why don't we start talking about just falling off the face
BS
of the
while you
earth,
look
basically?
for it, pretty much, is what
Yeah,
you...
that's,
okay,
what
yeah.
I'm saying.
Let's talk about the division names, then. Let's just get
Yeah,
that
there
out
you
of the
go.
way now.
Get that
They
out
got
of the
your
way now.
Pacific Division. You have the... I think they still kept the Northeast.
Yeah.
Did they?
I think so.
We don't care about that.
But
Metropolitan
our division
Division
sucks. Our division.
What's up with that? Now I know people are making a fuss about the name of the division, which I don't care. It's the internet. People bitch on the internet. That's what you do. So, what was the situation there? Like, did they veto a few other names? What led them to the Metropolitan Division? And there were some people that were saying maybe go back to the Smythe Division, the Norris Division, but just update it with new names. And I guess the issue there was that teams and other teams within the division, like they were saying Lemieux Division, but you have the Flyers and the Rangers in there. What about their Lindros and Primo, I guess? Why aren't their names in it?
And most division.
Well, but yeah, that was the issue there. People were saying, "Oh, if you're going to do that, then it's going to upset other teams." And I thought, just get over it. This player was better than your player. This team's best player was better than your team's best player, so that's why they're getting it.
Well, technically, the Rangers had Wayne Gretzky. The Rangers had Wayne
No,
Gretzky.
they didn't.
They had him.
The Blues had Wayne Gretzky. Come on.
He was there.
Now, I will say Edmonton. Yes, they had Wayne Gretzky. Even the Kings had Wayne Gretzky. But we're not going to say the Blues had Wayne Gretzky. And even to a lesser extent, though they had him for more than a year, the Rangers. But Yeah, I just don't get what was up with that name. It's going to be a lot of fun talking about that during the season, which kicks off not until October. But preseason jumps off, and obviously people are going to be looking at that and talking about the teams and divisions and whatnot. But, yeah, those questions. What do you got for us?
Well, a bunch of these emails from months ago,
Very old.
before we fell off the face of the earth,
Yes, we did.
and somehow found our way back on. There is one email here from a Rene. That's his name. He says, "Hey guys, when are you going to do another show? They're hilarious." I disagree, Rene, but thanks for listening anyway. Sarah here has a card question for David, and
Well, should
that
we
is,
answer the questions?
What's that?
Should we answer the question?
Well, we're back.
What do you mean?
We're back
When are we
now.
going to do another podcast?
Well, I
What are we
thought
doing now?
the fact that we're doing a show right now
This is the show?
answered.
Answers the
Oh,
question.
shit. All right, I guess.
Yes. What?
Answers the question. We're doing it
Next
right now.
question.
Okay, this is from Sarah, who emailed in, and this is a card question for David, and she wants you to explain the concept of RPMs, because she has no idea what it means.
I have to deal with that shit now.
Is that something that you can explain easily?
It's
or
the engine rotating, moving, doing stuff, making.
And RPM is
power.
revolutions
Per
isn't
minute.
a minute?
it? Yeah, that's what I meant. All right, well, there you go, Sarah.
Yeah, there's your answer.
Dashboard.
This one made me laugh because this is from March, and it says, this is from Jason, by the way. It says, by the way, what the hell is that lady doing?
I don't know. What? Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God.
What's going on here?
Next question.
This is from Jason. He says, "Hey guys, what's up? I'm going to be taking my driving test at the end of the month. Any advice?" Well, Jason,
I hope you
I
passed.
hope you passed, man.
I'm sorry.
Sorry
Hope
about
you
the
got your
lag
license
on your
now.
answer there.
Stacy says that we should do a show with accents.
Next week.
I'm terrible at those.
Well, it's going to be a fun
I've
show then.
I've tried to do so many
Dibs and British.
Really?
accents on,
Oh,
on
it's like
various.
it'd be nice if she elaborated, where we had just pick one and stick to it, because otherwise, if
we each each have a
to
different
pick one,
accent.
Jesus, that's gonna suck.
I'm doing British.
Man, I don't even know what I'm gonna
British
pick. So
is-
we'll just.
British
I don't
is-
know what I'm gonna use.
British is
so.
like the easiest, the most default
Yeah.
accent that people just default to, and that's the one
I'm gonna
can't
mail
do.
it in, and I think I'm gonna just go Jamaican. I'm gonna mail it in. Yeah.
Jamaica.
Welcome,
Welcome to Jam.
Next question.
I'm still looking through. Let me see here.
Seeing what's worth it to look
we
at.
got a bunch. Oh.
What do you got for us?
Valerie wanted to know what we did for Valentine's Day.
Oh, well, you know.
I remember.
Oh,
Valerie,
was that Rowdy?
Valerie,
Was it?
if you're watching, it involved
then.
this guy right here.
Oh, that's sick. Honestly, I don't even know. I
remember.
probably didn't do anything.
I don't even
remember.
remember
No.
what I did. Did we ever answer the "What player do you hate the most" question?
Yeah.
Did we?
So we did go back that far.
On three. 1, 2, 3.
I don't know.
Lucic.
Oh, well, yeah, that's an easy one. Yeah, I'll go with Lucic. I'll co-sign that.
And this is from Jillian, and she thought the fact that we call Lamar Captain Slow was very funny.
Yes.
Which
because he's slow.
Which is
it's
completely
less
accurate.
now than when it was
and,
when I
and
taught it.
also,
That's
he's got-
that's a load of
and
that's
also-
a no.
It's more
he's
relevant
got-
to you
he's got
now,
penises that
if
fell
we're
off
being
once.
honest.
Also,
What's that, David?
he hasn't got penis because it fell off once.
Oh.
And on that bombshell, good night.
Scheist.
That's how we're gonna end the show.
Yeah. See you next
All right,
week.
Well, yeah. I'm going to turn the stream off now.
Yeah. Bye.
So those of you who are watching,
Are those like fancy codes over
bye.